everyone, it's Brianna Ray from BriIY here to bring you my first real full-length video in a very long time, and today I'm going to be testing out different sewing machines. Specifically 3 affordable ones. I have a manual handheld sewing machine, I have an automatic handheld sewing machine, and I have a mini sewing machine that is far closer to a full size, and all in all I spent less than 40 bucks on all 3 of these. I want to take a look at cost, ease of use, ease of setup, and I guess how functional they really are. Do they actually hold things together, or are they just kind of for show? I haven't even opened these yet, so let's get started first with this mini handheld sewing machine, working from smallest to biggest. All right, this one is the one that came the jankiest looking. It is pink because of course it is, and this is all that's in the box, evidently. It does look like it's already strung. It's got like a bobbin thread here. It's very loose. I guess you're just supposed to kind of clip it. The directions are on the side of the box. Let's take a second to read these. Alright, so this is basically all it's supposed to be. Bobbin right here, thread it through here. This is your tension, so you can tighten the tension or loosen the tension. Just kind of goes through, and then a couple of centimeters free through the needle, and then this is the bottom, this is the top, and all you're supposed to do is punch down with your thumb, in theory. I just have some scrap cloth from like a t-shirt I cut at one point that I'm going to attempt because it's a dark fabric and we'll probably be able to see it. It also looks like this is something you can stick the fabric under to keep it from moving, which I actually think is kind of a nice feature. So I'm gonna slip it in here. Let's kind of get that together. And, oh god. All right, press with right hand, use left hand to control the cloth. And it's doing legitimately nothing. Yeah, literally nothing. Oh, I'm wrong. I got 1 right there. One more time, and I'm gonna go nice and slow this time. And again, we're seeing where it's not catching every time, just maybe every like 3 times. So it's like partially through. And even then, I think the issue is that it's not catching on the bottom to anything. So it does kind of have these tracks underneath here that have it move on its own. I'm gonna try not pulling the fabric and see if that does anything. So click, 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 and it is kind of moving its way slowly along the fabric. That looks better. Did it catch on the bottom? Almost. You can see when it skips, it's got like the loose loops again. So it just kind of needs to keep catching, and it might actually do something useful. So I guess the trick is to go slow and let the machine set your pace. That's certainly better than it was. Maybe not good for legitimate projects, but in a pinch, perhaps. It's a pain, but it was quick to start up, already threaded, nothing too crazy, just kind of silly goofy. I don't know, I'll probably keep it in the collection just in case. It's not perfect, but, you know, for like the $7 it cost, not bad, I guess. Well, let's get rid of this one and replace it with something that only cost $5 more and is less manual. A battery-powered, portable, and cordless handy stitch. And this one came with some extra treats. Looks like we got some bobbins, some safety pins, measuring tape, some scissors, and of course, a much larger handheld sewing machine, some actually printed directions. And what are these? Just some extra little tools, it looks like. Yes, I had to get it in pink, don't judge me. And it looks like we've already got a piece of fabric in there. I wonder if... got some lock buttons and stuff. Time to read the directions on this baby before everyone yells at me again. Got my batteries in here. Ugh. In essence, it's actually shockingly similar to the little one, the manual one. We've got our bobbin, our tension control up here, our screw to change out the needles. But the difference, of course, is that we have a power button on top and a needle locker here, just to make sure I don't press it, or that I do press it. I'm not sure what this is. I want to look at that in the directions right now. It is, much like a larger sewing machine, it is a rotary nail, so I can twist this and it's actually opening the needle out of the fabric, and to start sewing you are supposed to twist it back into the fabric at both its lowest and highest position, and it has the plate to keep the fabric in it. Do I just press the button and go? Well, it worked. Let me see if I can get this fabric out. There we go. And just like the other one, it does unthread pretty easily. All right, so I've got my needle all the way up, and I'm just going to pull up this plate so that I can slip the fabric inside. Nice and gentle. Everything in the locked position so I don't accidentally sew my fingies. Then I can unlock it and press the button to make it go. Okay, infinitely better than the little one. First of all, way more consistency. It actually caught all of the stitches, all of them, even the beginning ones. This extra thread was just kind of covering that. The back looks a little loose maybe, I won't lie, but much more even stitching, and you can even see that it's catching after it leaves the fabric. This is awesome. Oh, I am a big fan of this. This would be great for hemming my pants because I'm so freaking short. Truly, the reason I even wanted to do this video is because I hate getting my giant sewing machine out for little projects, like when I just need to hem my pants. It feels like a whole ordeal to get everything out and set up and just doing everything that I need to be doing. I don't like the ordeal that it is. It didn't like disrupt the fabric, even though it's stretchy. It didn't slip out. It is like, it's a nice seam, dude. Like, I would trust this. A little ironing would make this perfect. Wow. I'm very impressed. I also can't help but notice what looks like a power port over here. So I wonder if it can be corded. I do have some universal chargers. I might try that off camera and maybe use that if I ever run out of batteries. Well, it is time to bring out the big guns. This is as close to a full-size sewing machine I can get while still managing to take up far less space in my craft room. All right, pulling this baby out. It does have a little handle on the top. That's convenient. Ooh. There we go. Nice and little. So let's talk features on this beauty. We do have off, low, and high. It does have a ruler on the side, which is convenient. Obviously, it is more like a traditional sewing machine. So we have our thread on top, our bobbin inside. It did come with a little sample test of fabric that they clearly used. This is to do a back stitch, which is convenient, and it does have 12 different stitches on here. Tension and I guess I'm not sure. This is probably your tension. I'm not 100% sure what this one is. I'm gonna have to look at the directions for that. But if it's anything like a regular sewing machine, then this one should be the needle. Yep, this moves the needle up and down. We got a bobbin winder right here. Looks like automatic. That's convenient. And then our foot pedal and power plugs in the back, which it does have both of, a foot pedal and a power plug. Look at this tiny little foot pedal. It fits in my hand. Now, I had a mini sewing machine that was actually even tinier than this. It only did one stitch. I thought this was kind of a step up. I have done a review on that before, and I did like it for what it did, but I do like that this one also has some zigzag stitches in it, which I just think would be a little more convenient to have some options. I did find this one on a deal for about $25, maybe $28. I'm not 100% sure, but that is a pretty good deal, especially where we're looking right now. I do believe I got like my single stitch mini one for like $18, and that was when I was in college about 10 years ago. So this is not bad, all things considered. She also came with extra thread spools, bobbins, and an extra needle and needle threader. Very convenient. This cord is actually so short, I'm going to have to change my filming location. This angle is ridiculous, but it's literally the best I can do. So if it's off, it only goes when I use the pedal. Low, it goes slow automatically. High, it goes high automatically. Does this have, it does have a little scissor thing here so I can snip my thread when it's too long. I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna bring in my sample fabric that I have, which is still that raggedy t-shirt. And I'm just gonna drop it down. This changes which stitch we're on. So I want it to be on 1. There we go. So that's going to be your regular straight stitch. I'm of the firm belief that the worst part about sewing machines is threading the needle. I'm convinced that I've always thought that. God, this sucks. I don't think anyone realizes how much you want to work light up here on a sewing machine until you freaking need one, or you're trying to thread this needle. Anyway, let's pop it in here. We're going to drop it down. All right. Now I want to try the back stitch, forward stitch, all this. So let's just good, and then all you need to do for the back stitch is you need to just press this button and the presser foot at the same time. It does kind of move the fabric through pretty smoothly. You can release this and then go straight back to regular presser footing to go straight again. And that pretty much should be it. Release here. Lift the presser foot up, and there we have our stitching. And I know you want to see a zigzag stitch, so let's flip back to 11. Looks pretty good. And let's see how that looks, just out of curiosity. Okay, let's peel her out, and oh, what do you know? She did drop one. Yeah, not perfect, but not bad. Definitely better than nothing, and good on your stretchy fabric. So I'm very interested. I want to compare. It looks like actually the stitches up here, the only difference really is stitch length. You can see these are really close together, a little bit further, more like a basting stitch down here. Wait. Ah, there is a light. Oh, this is the best day ever. So here's a kind of, ignore this, this was me being goofy here. This is kind of a side-by-side of the full-size machine and the handheld machine. So you can see that the stitches are a lot closer together in the full size, and you can see that this is the full size because I have my back stitch here, and this is the handheld. There's a little bit more of a gap in between, and also when we flip it over to the back, you can see that this is, I mean, a little uglier, I won't lie, compared to like the loops that we see on the handheld, which is just certainly a lot looser. So very much prettier, a little bit uglier, but this is certainly more secure. But that's just kind of an interesting little comparison I wanted to throw out there. I will say with a full-size machine, it's a lot easier to make little mistakes like not understanding tension or putting your bobbin in properly. However, as far as actually learning how to sew, if you don't have a lot of experience or you want to consider investing into a bigger machine at some point, I think this is a great learning tool to figure out how all the components work, and using generally your knowledge of this machine and applying it to a larger machine so that you know what features you have. Like obviously, you know, your scissors here and the light button that I absolutely somehow missed. And honestly, just, I guess to heck with this one by comparison. This one is just infinitely better and only for a couple extra dollars. This one is a better learning tool, but if you want something quick, easy, inexpensive to do some quick mending, I definitely think that this guy is the way to go. And with all that said, that's all I had for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe. I used to put out videos every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time, but now I just kind of post shorts as I start doing stuff. So I don't know, maybe if you guys want to see more things, then I'll feel more inclined to record, but drop a comment below if you have something you want to see me try. And with all that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!